We're back again with more Wild About Wheels. Here at the annual vintage races at Laguna Seca in California, the most famous and successful racing automobiles in history gather each year to relive their proudest moments. This car, believe it or not, represents a whole revolutionary chapter in auto racing's history of innovations. This is an Allard. Before people like Carroll Shelby and Briggs Cunningham began building hybrid sports cars, mating European chassis and coachwork with heavy-hitting American drivetrains, Sidney Allard produced several variations of the car that bore his name. Throughout much of the 50s, Allards were formidable sports racers in numerous events across the country, from road courses to hill climbs. These were exciting times in American motorsports history, as the country was catching on to the thrills of racing light, agile, stylish two-seaters after decades of driving larger and heavier automobiles. Europe was suddenly being acknowledged as the primary source for performance-oriented vehicles, and the notion that an American engine could add even more exhilarating speeds to the small displacement sports cars competing in Europe was quite a seductive proposition. Sidney Allard tapped into this idea, and between 1950 and 1958, he saw that idea create an impact. Their long string of victories belied the rather unsophisticated configuration that Allards displayed. The simple chassis suspension layout was powered by a wide variety of engines in the short production history of the car. The first ones had Ford side-valve V8s. There were Cadillac and Chrysler-powered Allards, too. Bob Valpy of Center Harbor, New Hampshire, owns an Allard of some special significance.
This car is a 1950, serial number 1514. It's the first Cadillac powered. It was owned and raced by Tommy Cole first, who was a very successful East Coast driver, won Bridgehampton. The car won the Argentine Invitational Grand Prix in 1951 with John Fitch driving, who eventually raced for the Mercedes team, another well-known sports car racer and driver. The car was found about 8 years ago in a barn in a true basket case, and we, over a period of about a year, restored it as it raced in 1950, which is what you see here now.
These Allards at Laguna Seca get tender, loving care from the owners and collectors who have come to love what they represent and what they can accomplish on the track. Sidney Allard's creations eventually raced head-on into the fierce realities of the sports car marketplace. They were comparatively expensive in their day and had to compete in the showrooms against Jaguar and Mercedes-Benz. After downsizing his operation to special orders only in late 1953, in 1958 the company ended production. And as noted Allard collector Tom Turner from Fort Worth, Texas relates, there were other men to follow who would benefit from the Allard experiment.
We asked Carroll Shelby one time where he got the idea for the Cobra and said, where did you think I got it? The Allard was the first big car that he ever drove.
Although the name Allard rarely gets due notice when great racing cars are talked about, there can be no doubt that in its all too brief lifespan, the Allard was a car to be reckoned with. And thanks to the sincere dedication of collectors like these, the Allard legacy is surely never to be forgotten.